Okay, so to start the video this week, going to do a two-part video, basically, because there's a couple of areas I'm working on, and I'm going to do some more hours after this anyway, so I'll be doing a bit of a two-part one, so you can see how things are coming along. But basically, I'm working at the moment on this second trim area. This first one basically done, ready for fiberglassing, just needs a bit of framework and getting the actual shapes and stuff right, which I can't really do anyway till it's fiberglassed, but I can get it roughly right. This one, you can see it's been sort of half chopped out on the bottom here, whereas this section obviously hasn't. That's the original part there, so it's being basically made thinner. All these parts have been made thinner, that's been made thinner. I've changed the angle of this because it was slightly sort of downwards, it wasn't working quite right, so I've made that the right angle. And then this section on the end here I've had to extend, basically just for it's not obviously attached to anything yet, but it will be shortly, and that'll be basically fiberglass trim. And then I've got to get all the angles and stuff right for make sure that it looks nice and decent around the tablet side of things. What I've also been doing, I've been doing this side of it as well, which I'll do another part to this video with the seat in. This will be later on in the week. So I'm going to do some work on the seat as well. I'm going to try and put a plastic panel on the back of it, ideally, so I can make it look nice and make it look blue and everything else, and those are the colour it's going to be and everything else. But basically, yeah, that's coming along nicely now. So I've managed to smooth all this section in here. This all in the right area. I've cut out the right area bits for where the sub's going to fit, and obviously it's just ready to put together pretty much the bottom section. I can't really do yet because I don't know 100% how far it's going to go up for the floor, so there's no point flattening all this back and taking loads of time and working to get that flat until I know where I am with this. But it looks pretty good so far. All the angles are right, it's all blended nicely, looking quite good. I'll go around the other side. Bit of a mistake in here today. There we go. So right, it's got a section here. This piece was just fiberglass before, now it's all filled in instead, so I've got the whole, this is the second pass of filler. It's all still been filled here, all along here. This section, that's first pass down the bottom here, but you get the idea. It's going to be pretty straightforward to put together. So it's all basically blended in the same as the other side, around this end, around by these angles here. I've got to make sure it's the same as the other side as well. And then all this section on top of here has obviously got to be flatted and make sure it's all the right shape. And same for this, where the speakers fit as well, which that had already got some filler on it, but it's had a second pass now, and it's come along quite nicely sort of shape wise. It's getting relatively correct now. Obviously it's very lumpy because of the filler, but let's see the general gist for that. But yeah, part 2 of the video is going to be about the seat, how it fits, obviously with the back on it, hopefully ideally by then, and then I'll do a bit more sanding and bits and bobs are in here as well. So yeah, part 2 will be on shortly. Okay, so part 2. It's going to be a 3-part video. This one, I think. I've got some more work to do later on, but you'll see what I've been up to as well with the seats. I wanted to make some backs for these. I've changed the design a little bit. I've basically gone for where the bolts are. I've gone for like a space sort of evenly mainly there. These ones slightly different, but I'm going to move that. It's pretty straightforward to move, it's no problem. This isn't the full finish anyway. This isn't final finish by a long shot. It's just painted to a half decent level, I suppose. Basically it just needs obviously some work there to flat stuff back, just so you can see what's going on there, how it's going to look. Basically that's the idea. So the seats are going to be leathered. So it'll all be leather from sort of here all the way up there, obviously curving round underneath here. So this won't be leather, just that section underneath, and the plastic cover goes over the top. Nice and solid, nice thick plastic. I'll put a picture up of where I got that plastic from, which is going to probably cause all sorts of comedy comments, I'm sure. But it's worked pretty well, I think, to be honest. It's not bad at all. As soon as them 2 bolts are moved, and you can't see them anyway, they're literally, they go back onto the subs sort of here, so you can't see anything anyway, but I may as well make it look nice. So as soon as them bolts are moved, that's basically them job done. And then obviously I'll be the other side. It's still got the holes for the harnesses, although there won't be any harnesses in there. These will be done black, so this is going to be, obviously I'll take the back off first. This has all got to be taken back a bit. I'll do the other one actually, it's a bit neater than that one. 2 seconds, here we go. Right, So that one there. So it's basically, it's a lot neater in this one. It's not fully finished either, but you can see how it's all kind of roughly the right sort of shape. There we go. Obviously no harness in there, so they'll be painted black inside there, so basically look like a hole from a distance basically, so it'll look all right. Obviously the leather will go up here. Where's the leather? See if we can get this up a bit. It's a bit difficult to do this one. So you see how that's going to go up there. This leather's going to be sort of possibly half reused, half not reused. We'll see how it goes. See how it cleans up. But yeah, there you go. That's part 2, and I'll do part 3 shortly with some fiberglassing work and some trim and stuff like that. Right, it's part 3. It's getting dark out here, well, very dark out here, so the light isn't the best, but I'll try and get the best shot I can. Basically been working on the fiberglassing side of things, plus some sanding, which I'll show you in a minute. Basically, we've got the trim for the door, that's all in fiberglass. It's just had 2 layers basically, which is plenty. I've got this here to prop it up, so basically it stays the right shape. Obviously it's got a curve with the tablets and the way the door sits, as everyone's seen before, I'm sure. So it goes in there. So obviously this one, when it's all set and stuff, can be trimmed back, some filler on there, and get it the right shape to fit in the door. That's the plan at least. We've got this section here, which obviously is the trims for the tablets on the dash. It's now in one piece. I've decided to do one piece rather than 2. I think it's going to look a lot cleaner. It's now been fiberglassed all the way along there, the whole thing. I've also put the first layer of well, I think it's had 2. Yeah, 2 layers of fiberglass here on this end. This needs a bit of building work up this side because obviously it's completely changed. Ignore all the dodgy fiberglass around there. It's all going to get trimmed back, and then it'll be done properly with the when it's all fully done. Obviously I can't do that just yet because it's very hard to get it to stick properly all in one hit. But it's all fiberglass on each pillar, and obviously that'll be bolstered up then with some filler, and then another layer of fiberglass on top of that, and a bit more filler. Usual tactics. So also I've done inside here. Okay, so try and get in here. Here we are. Right, so this is looking quite nice now. All the fillers sanded back on this front edge, and some, well, majority, not that top section. The blue is basically where it's got the low spots, and some high spots as well, to be honest, and a few bits and bobs that need some attention, like that for instance. All these sort of areas, there's no real point doing the very outer edges until the door's fitted properly, so I haven't done that just yet. I will be doing these sills. These will all be getting finished off this week, oh, sorry, next week even, should I say. So that'll all be done there. This section just needs making sure it's all flat, which currently it's not fully flat. There's a bit sort of goes in a bit there, sort of goes along there and in there, but that's very easy to flat back. That's like a 5-minute job, literally. I'll need some more filler on, try and get in here, more filler in here along this side or along that top edge, and a bit more along there as well, which I haven't actually started flattening back yet, so the light's not great in here, I'm afraid. But I have done some more flattening to try and get the shape here. It's not fully there yet either, it's sort of halfway there, but I've run out of time tonight. And obviously this will be extended slightly to match the other one, the other side. It's got to go to there. And obviously this whole section needs a full flat and a bit more filler in there to get it right. But that'll basically look the same as the other side, which is looking very nice currently for this angle. So it's basically a lot like that, which is basically all fully fiberglass filled, more fiberglass, more fill, bit of all sorts. So yeah, there you go. That's what we're up to this week. So feel free to subscribe, comment if you can, and yeah, I'll crack on next week and do some more videos then.